Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to go through project 10-1, a hand-on project. This is from the Guide to Network Security written by Michael Whitman. This starts on page 433 and covers chapter 10, some auditing, monitoring, logging processes, and tools. So we're going to begin with Task Manager. So there's various ways to open it. I find the quickest is to right-click on the taskbar and start Task Manager there. There are other ways. You can run a search for it from your Start menu. Task MGR will give you the exact same thing. And so you have multiple tabs in the Task Manager. We have Applications, Processes, Services, Performance, Networking, Users. So to start, we're going to look at Applications, and currently the only thing I have running is my screen recording software. But if we open up another application like Chrome, we see that it comes open here as well, and so we can see it. This is especially helpful for closing things that won't close on their own properly. So if you have an application that's resisting closing, you can right-click on the application here, go to Process, and you can use that process under Image Name. Right-click and end the process, and it will terminate that application for you. So one other thing we can do under processes, let me see if I can find something that's useful here. We can go with Core Temp. So Core Temp is this tool right here. So you can right-click on something underneath the image name, and you can view the properties. So it'll give you the type of file, which in this case is an executable. It'll give you a brief description, the location and size for whatever the program or image name is. It'll give you the creation date, modification date, and date it was most recently accessed. You have several other tabs for the properties. Under security, you can see what users are able to do what with it. For example, in this case, system and administrators have full controls. Generic users are limited to reading and executing only. They can't modify, delete, or change anything. So you'll often come here if you suspect that you have malware or a virus on your computer, especially if you have anything that causes bloatware or hijacks your browser search or your home page. Sometimes you can find that stuff in here. You may have to show processes from all users, so you'll want to do that as an administrator. And if your system's running kind of slow, you can come in here and just terminate programs that you aren't using, that are just taking up background resources. You want to be kind of careful doing that with some things, especially if it's something you don't recognize. You might want to do some research on it before you terminate it. It may be an important system file, like these. So I have quite a bit going on right now. I probably need to clean up my computer at some point in the near future. So if you do find something that you don't think should be on your machine and you research it and discover it really shouldn't be, you can use that right-click and process properties, there we go, to find out exactly where on your system it is. So that way you can see if it's installed and uninstall it, and then go clean all of the residual files to remove software that you don't want. There are certain critical processes. Explorer.exe is one of them. If you end that process, it will pretty much close everything that's open. Everything's kind of tied to Explorer. I don't know how this is going to turn out in a video, so it'll be interesting to see. So I still have my rain meter, which is a separate application, but I have no desktop. I can't right-click on anything. I have no taskbar or start menu anymore. So fortunately I still have my rain meter up, so I still have pretty much full functionality except for my start menu. I can still browse windows. So that was my folder browser there. So we can see that I can still get into things, but it really does limit what kind of programs can run, especially starting new applications. because you have to find them to start them. Sometimes, if you kill the wrong process, you may have to reboot the whole system to get them to run again. Fortunately for explorer.exe, that's not the case. You can just start a new task and type explorer.exe, and you can bring it right back. There we go. One thing I've noticed when I'm removing viruses and malware is that terminating Explorer actually helps. So I'll start my antivirus scan, and then I'll terminate Explorer to keep that malware from trying to hide a little bit better. So under the Services tab, we can view the currently running services. There's probably going to be quite a few in here as well. You see it's not a small list. So if there's anything that is unfamiliar, something you don't recognize here, you can kind of do the same thing. For example, I have TeamViewer running, maybe I just don't want it to run right now. Again, you can go to the process, check its properties, see where it's installed, and then terminate it and remove it as needed. So again, as a final note, and as I mentioned earlier, if you're going through here and you're not fairly comfortable and familiar with a lot of this, you may want to find a process or an image name here and then go research it before, terminating it, because it can have adverse effects on your machine if you close the wrong things. I hope that was short enough for everybody. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them for me below. I will try to reply in a timely fashion, and I hope to see you in my next video.